Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Common English Mistakes. Don't just learn, improve. So today we're going to look at 5 very common mistakes which I hear with past participles or V3s, the third form of the verb. Eat, ate, eaten. We use past participles or V3s with a lot of different structures. Present perfect, maybe to say how many times you've done something. I've seen that film 3 times. With the passive, when the action is done to the subject. That house was built 200 years ago. With get, also in the passive. For example, I don't know how that window got broken. And other things like using modals in the past. I should have gone to bed earlier last night. They're important to study and practice because other than using a structure incorrectly, like here with the present perfect, they're usually the mistake I see with these structures. Some are a mistake using the wrong words, others, like driven, are pronunciation issues. We'll look at the patterns with these past participles so you can remember them more easily. And I'm not going to cover go or have because I'm going to do these in more detail in future videos. So anyway, the mistakes are up here. He's drank 5 coffees today. I've driven a Ferrari, pronunciation here. John has quitted his job. That house was builded 200 years ago, and I think I've catched a cold. So just pause the video, see if you can correct any of those 5 past participles. And well done for the first one, if you said he's drunk 5 coffees today. Drink, drank, drunk. And as I tell my students, you always want to see the patterns in the language. Most verbs with this I sound are going to have an for the past participle. So for example, begin, began, I've begun doing yoga. Sing, sang, have you ever sung karaoke? Swim, swam, I've swum with dolphins. And sink, sank, the Titanic was sunk by an iceberg. Doesn't always follow this pattern. We don't say bring, brang, brung, or think, thank, thunk, although I think that sounds funnier. We say brought and thought. We also have a similar problem with verbs which have an sound, where the V1 and V3 are the same. So run, ran. Have you ever run a marathon? Come, came. I think I've come down with a cold. And become, became. Smartphone addiction has become a big problem. For all of these verbs, make sure for the past participle you use a nice strong not something else, which is usually an a, the V2. The next one I hear a lot, like I said, is this pronunciation issue. According to the rule, consonant, vowel, consonant, CVC, this should be pronounced driven. However, we have another pattern where these verbs are pronounced with an I in the past participle. So, drive, drove, I've driven a Ferrari. It's the same for give, gave. My boss has given me the day off. Ride, rode. Have you ever ridden a horse? Write, wrote. I've written 100 emails today. And hide, hid. She's hidden the food. Again, try and see the pattern here. These are all pronounced with an I in the past participle. Next up, another nice easy pattern. These short verbs ending in T have the V1, V2, V3 all the same. So, John has quit his job. Ow, I've cut my finger. I've put on the heating. Have you set an alarm? And have you ever hit an animal with your car? Nice and easy, but again, make sure you know the pattern. You'll make fewer mistakes. Next up is this specific verb, which often people say in a regular past participle. It needs to be, that house was built 200 years ago. I chose this also because often people have trouble with the pronunciation. The U is silent, so we don't say built or something like this. Just imagine it's written like this and say built with a nice strong I sound. And the final pattern we're going to look at is verbs which have an AUGHT or OUGHT spelling for the past participle and are pronounced ought. So instead of catched, catch caught. I think I've caught a cold. Think thought. Have you ever thought about working online? I bought. I've bought you a present. Then fight fought. He's fought in 2 wars. Bring brought. Have you brought a pen to class? And teach taught. I've taught in 4 countries. All of these have this rather horrible spelling, and make sure you pronounce them like this, just saying the word ought with whatever comes before it. So that's basically it. I do recommend that you Google something like past participle exercises to practice, become more accurate, and make sure you review this video, know the patterns in the language. This will help you to become much more natural and fluent when you're speaking. There's no practice and improve today. I think it's more a case of you doing your own personal study and practice. As ever, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, share the video with others, and I'll see you for another video next week. Until next time, see ya.